Good morning. I'm hoping some of you can catch this real quick this morning. I'm coming on before I get on the phone with clients today. And there was just something that crossed my mind this morning that I wanted to share because across social media, I'll see people constantly talking about what they can't afford, or I can't afford this, or I can't afford that, or I would love to do that, but I can't afford it. Is this within my budget? I can't afford it. Da, 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 da. And there's this mindset that is like prevalent among people, especially when you have an employee mindset, when you are used to living on a fixed amount of money per month, per year. And so you'll have a mindset that you have to live within these parameters. And this morning, what I was thinking about was that what if I had told myself I couldn't afford to become a coach? What if I had told myself I couldn't afford to start my first business? What if I had told myself that, oh, that costs too much, I can't afford this, that's too hard, I don't know how? What if every single time you wanted to do something or your dreams require you to step out of your comfort zone? What if every time you're called to do that, you say, oh, I can't afford it, it's too hard, I don't know anyone, I'm not connected? And specifically what I wanted to say this morning is that when I just made up my mind to start my first really large company, I had done a couple smaller companies before, kind of testing the waters of entrepreneurship. And at the time when I really began to get empowered to say, I'm going to start this construction company. I didn't start in coaching, guys. I always just wanted to be a businesswoman. I didn't want anything to do with coaching, ministry, any of that, anything that had to do with really being one-on-one with people, because that would have required me to develop as well. And I was running from some things, right? And so my first really large company that I started was a construction company. And my construction company, I went all out. Like when I hear people say, I can't afford this or I can't afford that, my first question is, how many jobs do you have? If there is a part of your dream that requires an investment, and it always does, you're not going to be able to stay in your comfort zone and get to where you're wanting to go. Your dream life is going to require sacrifice. Your dream life is going to require an investment. It's not always money. Often it is money, but there's an investment. There's a sacrifice required. People thought I was crazy. My family thought I was crazy. My children thought I was crazy. When my last corporate job that I had, I was a VP of sales for a company, an executive with a company. And when I decided to start my own construction company, I literally came out of a secured 6-figure executive position. By the time I'm starting on my journey to start my construction company, I'm trying to run my construction company during the day, to get it up and on its feet. I was waitressing nights. This is back when there was no Lyft, there was no Uber, there was no apps. There was not stuff that nowadays you can do things to make money. But you can't be lazy. You can't make excuses. You can't be acting like you don't have skills and passions and talents that you can't make money with right now to go finance what you need to do. Listen, there is no room for pride in entrepreneurship. There's no room for pride when you're pursuing your dreams. People thought I was crazy. My family thought I was crazy. I would cry myself to sleep at night because my kids, they just couldn't understand why we didn't live in the big house on the golf course anymore, or why we couldn't afford vacations anymore, or why had our lifestyle changed so much? Why were we going through such hard times? Why did it feel like we were hand to mouth, that literally begging from Peter to pay Paul, right? Because I went through a season where I knew I kept my eye on the ball. I kept my eye on my goals and my dreams. I was waitressing nights in a club. I was working during the daytime on my construction company. I was building websites on the side for people. Listen, I started coaching while I was doing those things. See, nobody wants to talk about the sacrifice and investment that is required in order for you to get to your next level. It's not pretty. You can't afford to be lazy. You can't afford to be comfortable. At the end of the day, if there's something that you want, I don't accept to say I can't afford it. No one was bailing me out. No one was coming to save you. No one is coming to rescue you. If you want to make some changes in your life, honey, I suggest you start lifting, Ubering, whatever skills you have that can make money to supply whatever it is you need to invest in your dreams. If your dream is to invest in property and you need the down payment on your investment property, I suggest you get out here and calculate. If I drive Uber 4 hours a night and I make $400 a week, I can calculate that and say I can get my $3,000 down payment on my first house to have my first investment property in about 10 weeks. In 10 weeks, I can have $4,000 to put down on my property. Babies, listen, Nana's coming over to stay with y'all. Y'all gonna fall asleep at Nana's house, and I'm gonna come pick you up at 3 in the morning when I get done Ubering and lifting, and then come put you in your room at night so you can wake up and go to school in the morning. And every night we're gonna repeat that process. See, people don't want to talk about, that's right? No one wants to talk about the ugly part. No one wants to talk about the sacrifice. No one wants to talk about how everybody's looking at you crazy. I went from being a VP of sales to serving bottles in a club as a waitress. And my family was looking at me. My daddy, who's was a minister, was looking at me like, this ain't you, baby. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? What are you doing with your career path? I don't understand why you have executive leadership experience. You have business experience. Why are you in a club working for cash? Because the rent had to get paid. The babies didn't care what mommy was doing to pursue her dreams. They just know they needed to have a roof over their head. So I was up in a club with some little boy shorts on, serving bottles and waitressing because it paid cash and it made so much money that I could then afford to pay my rent, right? And afford to build my company during the day and then next thing you know, that company takes off and is making money. I ain't got a waitress no more. I lay them off, right? Next thing you know, I don't have to build websites anymore. Why? Because I'm making so much money with construction. In the meantime, construction company finances me going into coaching. Hello? Finances me. My day job financed my next dream. My day job, the first company I built, financed investing in myself to build my coaching websites, to get branded, to pay for photo shoots, to have professional branding and marketing. Come on now. And so when I hear people talk about what they can't afford, and I hear people talk about, oh, it's too much, but yet you find a way to go on vacations. You find a way to get that payment for your kid and be involved in that sport. When it really matters to you, you make a way. You figure it out. If one of your babies needs something, you're going to figure it out. But yet when it comes to you, you'll be so quick to say, I can't afford it. Oh, that's cost too much. Instead, I want you to be looking at, how can I afford this? How can I afford this? Let me get creative. God, how can I afford this? God, make a way for me to afford this. God, I need inspiration. I need innovation. I need ideas. God, give me something to make money with. God, put something in my hands. God, give me the creativity and understanding of what to do. I may not start where I want to be. You're not going to start where you want to finish. Where you start may look nothing like where you're going, but you're going to have to drop your pride. Your pride. There are people who love to talk about me like a dog, like, oh, I remember her when she was working in the club. I remember her when she was doing parties around town. I remember her. Yeah, baby, you remember me when I was building. You remember me when I was hustling. I used to have a hustle mentality of make it happen. I have such focus. I have the ability to manifest anything that I focus on. And I would just focus. I didn't care what people would say. I would just focus on my dreams and my goals and the next step. But the same people that will be talking about you, about what you had to do to get to where you're at, are the same people now who will envy your lifestyle, envy your businesses, envy where you're at, envy your happy marriage, envy your children prospering, envy everything that you're doing because you dropped your pride and you did whatever you had to do. Whatever you had to do. I did whatever I had to do. I didn't care. Listen, if they were talking about, oh, you can come over here. Listen, I know some of the people I know, they donate in plasma and blood to pay for websites. Y'all don't want to hear me this morning. How bad do you want it? Are you interested or are you invested? Are you interested or are you invested? There is a difference. People who are interested do a lot of talking. Oh, I think I might. I'm gonna. I've been thinking about. Oh, number one thing people talk about, I need to get some help. I need to work through my issues. I need to hire a therapist. I need to get with a coach. Man, listen, if you just going to keep on talking about it, life is going to keep passing you by. And you're going to keep looking at other people saying, dang, I remember when she was like, I had that radio show. I remember when she was on Married to Medicine. I remember back in the day when she was doing stuff. She was on panels. Listen, back during the day when I was building, right? I didn't do a whole lot for free, y'all. I did free for a very short period of time. Why? I got bills to pay. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. At the end of the day, I had built my brand up, my initial coaching business. I built everything up. And then I looked around and I was like, I remember talking to my graphic designer and I was like, all these people be speaking around town and get invited to speak at all this different stuff. They're always speaking. I just feel some type of way. I don't get invited to speak. How come I'm not speaking at all these different things? And my graphic designer, she said to me, Rebecca, because you look like you cost money. And I was like, what do you mean? They're not getting paid to do that? She's like, no. You see everybody are running around. Be careful that the thing you envy, you envy people and you're looking at people doing things. But at the end of the day, I never had any interest in running around from place to place trying to be popular or trying to be seen. Honey, half these people out here running around ain't making $1. Not one dime. You're running around from here to there and the other. I call it the Chitlin circuit. You're running from this to that, the other, and everybody's patting themselves on the back, but ain't nobody making no money. Ain't nobody leveling up. Ain't nobody starting their businesses and really taking it to the next level. I opted out. No thanks. You mean I gotta get dressed up, get this fine, put on hair and makeup and have a dress on that cost me $100 to go talk or speak somewhere and I don't make a dime. I gotta depend on selling products at this thing to even make money, but I'm already making $3,000 and $4,000 with clients. Why would I do that? I can sit at home and make money. Then I got to the point where I'm really growing my premium coaching. I'm making $10,000 a client. You're going to have to really pay to get me to come out of my house. Because we don't even have offices anymore. Look at how many businesses are shuttering their brick and mortar stores. Everything is moving with technology. You do not need to have an office. Some people imagine themselves having offices. I had an office downtown Atlanta when I first started my construction company. Man, listen, that thing was let go so quick because I realized I didn't need to be housing assistants and housing people that work for me. I didn't need to be paying for lighting and overhead. With technology, your contractors and employees are right there in their own houses, at their own home offices. You ain't got to cover all that overhead. Right now, my team is at work all over the world putting together the Abundant Life Path coaching, right? Websites getting done, my whole team working. They're all contracted. They're not employees. We don't have an office. Don't need one. Some people just want to be seen or see like you're doing big things. I've been there, done that. No thanks. I don't need $5,000 of business overhead coming right off the top of my profits when I can do whatever I want to do running it from a home office and sit here and make 6 figures and don't even have all that expense. Hello? Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to? In this season that I am in, I am about to pull back the covers to be able to show people who I am, what I do, how I do it. At this point in my own career, I have finally reached that place where I'm saying, okay, I have silently been successful for a very long time. I have quietly been successful. I make more money than a lot of these people that I see on Instagram and they're influencers. There's a big difference between having supporters and fans. A lot of people are popular, but they're not making no money. That has never been what I want. I don't want to be popular and be broke. I'll say it again for those in the back who don't hear me. I don't want to be popular and be broke. My dreams consist of traveling the world, doing it with my family, doing whatever I want to do, when I want to do it, and helping to save lives and heal people all over the world, while at the same time living my abundant life. And my clients seems to align with people, right? It seems to be what other people want too. Like, yes, Rebecca, I want freedom. I want financial freedom. I want freedom of my time. And I also want to give back and help people. That's what people want. It's what we all want if we're really honest and you get over the fear of even being able to admit that that's what you want. That's what you want. So I could care less about having millions of followers. I care about having paying clients and systems of financial freedom that create passive income, right? And able to then do whatever it is I want to do, whatever my next thing is, do that with peace and freedom. I could care less about being popular. But when you do what you're called to do, the spotlight seems to have a way of finding you right where you're at. When you do what you're called to do, when you follow your heart, do whatever God has put in your heart, whatever your passions are, the spotlight has a way of finding you. Point blank. It really does. You don't have to even go look for it. It finds you. Bishop T.D. Jakes and MegaFest inboxed me on Instagram the week that my book came out. They found Instagram, not an email, not through my website, Instagram. And a few months later, I was speaking at MegaFest. Your gifts will make room for you. That's right. Anyway, I'm coming on real quick because I wanted to say that. Stop saying what you can't afford. If I had taken that mentality, I would have never started any of these companies and would have never been at the place I'm at now of financial freedom, where I'm helping people and changing people's lives and training. The Abundant Life Path Coaching is coming. The link is coming. You're going to have to apply. I get to choose who I want to work with. It's not going to be a fit for everyone, but it's going to be absolutely amazing. It is literally all of my life skills. It is all of my business experience, all of my coaching experience, everything I know just plugged into 12 weeks of training. So you don't have to make all the mistakes. It took me years to get here. That's the other thing. People don't understand. It took me years. I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have guidance. I didn't have anybody telling me, don't do this, do this. This is the best way to do things. I had to learn through trial and error to get to where I'm at. Those of you who want to be coaches, those of you who want to take your coaching level to the next level, to 6 figures, to 7 figures, you need mentoring and guidance if you want to get there. And you don't want to be like me, trial and error, years and years of just figuring things out. That I when I was writing out the curriculum for this, I literally was like, I just wish I had this. I just wish I wish somebody would have been able to tell me this stuff so I didn't have to suffer through the all of the mistakes and the detours and the craziness that you go through trying to learn what works and what doesn't work. Anyway, it's all going to be in there. Love you guys to pieces. Just wanted to come on real quick and share because it was on my heart. Hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I will talk to you soon. Stay tuned. The link is coming. The team is hard at work. Almost there. We're going to launch soon for registration and applications. Talk to you guys soon. Mwah.